Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful sunny morning this morning, which is a nice change. We've had about 80 to 90 millimetres of rain in the last week, which has waterlogged everything, and we now have a creek coming out of our paddock. It has actually dried out. We haven't had any rain for about 3 or 4 days now, but we've still got puddles of water sitting on the ground and water flowing out of the paddock, and it's given us a little bit of a problem. Last night on the way home on the driveway, I managed to sink the ute again. So I'm here by myself today. Haven't got anybody to help me pull it out, so we're going to hook it up to the old Chamberlain 6G front end loader and see if we can tow it out quickly, because I'm supposed to be heading off to work soon. So we'll hitch it up now and we'll see how we go. So we're using a Snatch strap to try and pull this out today. These are great. They've got a little bit of elasticity to them, so they stretch a bit. This gives you a lot of kinetic energy to help pull your vehicle out. I have actually pulled an 8-ton truck out with my car and 2 lengths of Snatch strap many years ago. Now, whenever you're hitching these straps up, you need to find something really solid to hitch them to. Don't worry about these little skinny little points on the front here. You'll often break them off, and that becomes quite dangerous. Some vehicles have got a proper recovery point on the bull bar. Mine doesn't. So what we want to look for is we're either going to go round the diff, right back in here if you can get here, but you need to watch out for your brake lines if you hitch onto that, or up the front here round the spring hangers. Round the diff is the best spot to go, but the spring hanger will work too. Okay, so we've got our strap on, hitched up to the loader. We're now going to see if we can just ease it out of here. Now, whenever you're doing this by yourself, make sure it's out of gear and the handbrake's off. For some reason last night, even though it was bogged, I still put the handbrake on. Safety first always. Well, it didn't come out, instead we broke the strap. So now I've done something that in hindsight I should have done first. I've got the shovel out, I've just dug around the wheel, each wheel a little bit to give it a bit of a ramp to lift itself out. If I'd had a second driver to drive the ute, it would have just come out, and I actually thought that it would just come out without me having to do any digging, but clearly it's a bit more of a stuck in the mud than that. So we'll have another go now and see if it comes out this time. So we've managed to drag the ute out of this bog with the tractor, and it's easy to get vehicles out if you happen to just have a tractor sitting close by to pull them out with. If you're going somewhere out bush or anywhere you think might be a bit boggy, there's a few things that you should take with you that will just make it a lot easier for you to get out if you don't happen to be near a tractor. Always take a decent quality tyre compressor, tyre pump with you, preferably with a gauge on it, and always take a good shovel with you, not one of these little half-sized shovels, but a decent shovel with a proper handle on it. The first thing we do we can do when we get bogged, and this will get you out a lot of the time. If we just let our tyres down to about half the pressure that's in them, they will, often your vehicle will just lift out of the mud and drive out, or lift out of the bog. It works great in sand too. So to let the tyre down, we just unscrew the cap. We do not want to let them down too far though. So if we just get a little stick like this, and there's a little valve in here, you just poke the valve. Hang on, you want to stick without too much of a point on the end. Poke the valve and hold the valve in. How do I know how long to let the tyre down for? Now, somebody told me who knew a lot about this, let all 4 of your tyres down for 1 minute. So hold your stick in and poke the valve and let the air come out for 1 minute. You can count this, and this just means that all 4 of your tyres will be at an even pressure instead of just trying to guess at what you're doing. Make sure you're in 4-wheel drive and your hubs are locked. If you don't have a 4-wheel drive, these tricks will still help you get out. Even a 2-wheel drive, if you let the tyres down, it will help you get out. If you still can't get out having let them down for 1 minute, on larger tyres like this, you can certainly let them down again for another minute. I think with these ones you can, depending on what pressure you are running in them for road pressure on the road, you can let them down for up to about 3 minutes. The next thing to do is to use your shovel to dig a bit in front of your wheels to give you a ramp to get out, to just sort of gently come up. If there's a reasonably square face on the front where if the vehicle is stuck in the mud or the sand and it's up to here on your wheels, it won't lift the vehicle up over that step very easily. So if you just make a bit of a ramp to come out, that helps a lot. Now, a couple of the other things that are really helpful if you can take them, a couple of planks of wood. Once you have dug your ramp out and made it as long as possible, if we lay our planks of wood down on the ground under the wheel, it really helps just give it something really firm so that as it moves forward, it's not sinking into the next piece of mud. It spreads the load and will just help your vehicle come out a bit more easily. Now, if your vehicle is bogged a long way down, you end up with the wood at quite a steep angle going down into the hole you've just dug. So if you can dig a longer trench to make it flatter, that really helps as well. The other thing that works brilliantly if you've got one is a high lift jack like these kangaroo jacks. These will lift your vehicle almost a metre off the ground if you need to, or a metre out of the bog. You do need to take a piece of wood to sit the base on because it's only a small base on these, and that will sink into the ground if you don't have something good to sit that on. The other good thing about these kangaroo jacks is that if you want to carry enough pieces of chain and cable and straps and stuff, they actually work as a winch as well. You put one piece of cable, chain, strap, whatever you want to call it, on here and attach that to something very firm and solid, and you put the other one in here with a pin through there and onto your vehicle, and then as you do the jack up, it will winch a metre forward for you, winch your vehicle a metre forward. It's a really slow way to do it, but if you're really stuck, this is a really good thing to be able to do. If you're carrying enough planks of wood, you can jack your vehicle up and get the plank right under the wheel. You can, if you lift your vehicle high enough, you can fill in the hole that it is sitting in, get your plank of wood right back to here somewhere, put your vehicle back down on it. If you do this under all 4 wheels, you'll be able to just drive out without too much trouble, depending on how sloppy it is. I have got some really badly bogged vehicles out like this before. Now, if you are traveling in a convoy with other vehicles, or it's a road where you are likely to see other vehicles, it's also really handy to carry a snatch strap. This is the one we broke the other day. This is just an old one that was knocking around in the shed, so it's not surprising we broke it. But a good quality snatch strap, you will find it very, very hard to break. And also a couple of good size shackles to go in each end of it. Now these need to be the heavy duty rated shackles, not just a light duty one. You can tell if they are rated because the pin that goes through the shackle on the end has they're usually yellow or red painted bit on the pin. This tells you that it is rated for heavy duty work, and that they're a little bit more expensive because they're rated, but make sure you use the right shackles. Otherwise these snatch straps can become very dangerous if you are not using them correctly, but they are brilliant for getting you out of bogs. Now the timber planks are the cheap alternative to all of this. You can get some beautifully made plastic bog matting now that you can pick up. They're about a bit over a meter long, 1.5 meters long, that you can use for the same sort of thing we use the timber for. They're quite expensive and I don't have any, but they've got little knobbly bits on them to give you the tires a bit more grip, and they just help the vehicles to come out, but they're expensive and timber works well too. I'm going to take you and show you this really old piece of bog matting now. These used to be really common. You'd find them everywhere around on farms and things like that. Every drilling truck for going out doing water bores and mining drilling used to have them on the back there, and you'd find them actually in a lot of places where people had got bogged. They'd take them out there and leave a set there so that they could always get through. These are really good. I've got these actually aren't mine, these are borrowed from the neighbours. These are heavy duty enough to get tractors and trucks out. They're great for cars too. The disadvantage with them is that they weigh about 40 kilos each. They are heavy, so you don't really want to be lugging these around anymore, and that's where the plastic is a good alternative. Now these ones are actually ex-military ones, and you'll see the clips on the side here. So if you want to lay another sheet down next to it, they will lock together into those slots. These were used during the Second World War by the Army, and they were used for making for bog matting, for getting vehicles across sand dunes, deserts, through the mud, through the creeks. They just lay them down, lay a big mat of them down, all locked together. They were also used for making entire airfields. So they would carry enough of these out into the middle of the bush and lock them all together to make the runway and enough space to park an aeroplane and all of that sort of stuff. So these were some pretty big installations they were making, which meant there were thousands and thousands of these left over as war surplus, which is why you still find so many of them around. Anyway, I hope this video has been useful and to people, to help them get a little bit better prepared if they think they might get bogged, and to give you a little bit of an understanding as to how to get out. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!